Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and Reddit has been doing a fun little faction wars bracket, like NCAA March Madness type of thing with faction wars. So I thought we would talk about how that is going so far. Is it going how I thought it would, and how I predict the final four to go, and all of that. Plus, I did not make this topic, so shout out to Silver Scorpion for putting this together and hosting it. So I'm just gonna kind of give my thoughts on it. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so let's kind of zoom in on it a little bit, and then I've got the index here where we can kind of go through and talk about things. Let me pull up the pen for a while we're talking here. So, okay, so for the first one, Undead and Bannerlords, really not a whole lot of discussion there. Undead is going to clearly move on to the final four. Undead is a powerhouse. I don't see a whole lot of opponents before probably the championship, in all honesty, that will go up against the Undead. They're just so incredible with, if I pull them up, they've got Rodos and Battle and Mashaled and Siffy and Nekarit. Like even the epics with Gorgorab and Seeker, pretty solid all the way around. Frozen Banshee, one of the better rares. Yeah, you're not going to beat the Undead until probably the championship. And then the next one here, Oryx and Skinwalkers. Yeah, Skinwalkers are kind of regarded as the lowest one. I actually did a video not too long ago talking about all the different factions in detail. I'll try to remember to link to that over there. But yeah, Skinwalkers regarded as pretty underwhelming, and I'm not surprised at all. They would have probably been eliminated by anybody they faced. So Oryx moving on pretty easily there to round two. The next one here, Sacred Order and Night Rev is interesting. Night Rev going all the way to the final four. Okay, Night Revenant has gotten a lot better in the recent, probably in the last like 8 months to a year. They've gotten some new champions, like Shemnath is very good. Gaius is okay. Versov was a new fusion or fragment. Mother Sibylle, but nah, all right. Tomb Lord has aged pretty well. And Calvalax and Drang are also very good. So yeah, the Night Rev's getting a lot of really good additions, not even to mention Rector, one of the best epics in the game that came to Night Rev. So yeah, they're just getting a little bit more love than some of these factions right here, like Sacred Order. There's nothing wrong with the Sacred Order. They've got a lot of champions, but it's tough. They have pretty good legendaries too, but probably not quite to the Night Revenant. So I agree with Night Revenant. And then the Barbarians, that's another tough one. Barbs do have a pretty solid roster with some good legendaries, especially a couple good Void ones and Valk. But yeah, all in all, now that I actually look at it on paper, I think they're getting it mostly right with Night Rev moving past those and sliding on to the final four. And then over on the right side, we have got Ogarin and Lizard. That's a tough one. Both of those are regarded as some of the lower ranked ones. I'm actually surprised. Well, no, not really. I was going to say, like, with Ogarin having such good epics, they've got Ugo, Maneater, Uragrim, Claude, really, I'm for sure the epics are better for the Ogarin. But for legendaries, I know they do have Krisk, Ramantu, Shogger, Rosin, a new one in Nemco. So yeah, all in all, maybe it's Lizardmen because the legendaries are a little bit underwhelming. Ignatius and Biggin are pretty solid, but not really aging as well as the legendaries in Lizardmen. So I was a little bit surprised on the surface, but I do agree with that one. And then really not going to be any sort of a contest. Dark Elves are kind of similar to the Undead. They're going to move right on to the final four very easily, and not a whole lot stopping them from doing that, similar to the Undead. And it ends up looking a little bit off because you've got 7 on each side because you have a bracket of 14. So even though you do have an even number of teams in 14, when you break it down in a bracket, it's going to be 7v7. So you've got different ones moving on, like the Shadowkin here, ready to start. And Dwarves Demon Spawn is actually a pretty good matchup. I do probably agree with Demon Spawn winning that one, but Dwarves are pretty solid for being a new faction. Shadowkin as well. Demon Spawn probably getting carried pretty hard by Duchess and Kymar. Canderfon, yeah, you gotta give Demon Spawn the nod there. And then also over Shadowkin, even though Shadowkin do have some really good ones. Lady Kimmy, Ninja, Riho, Yumiko. It's closer than you might think, but I do agree with Demon Spawn moving on to the final four, which means in the given context that the bracket is laid out, I would say I agree with it. Let me clear this. Let me see if it's the top four. Undead and Dark Elves for sure. And then Night Rev and Demon Spawn are kind of in that next tier, maybe. Demon Spawn for sure. I mean, Duchess, Kymar, yeah, you can't go wrong. It's got to be in the final four. Yeah, probably. The fourth spot becomes tough. It's kind of like that next tier. You've got like Night Rev and maybe Dwarves. But yeah, nothing wrong with having Night Rev. They've gotten a lot better in the last year. So then, how do I think the final four will go now that we can kind of see the matchups here? I would probably say no one's beating Undead. So they're going to slot in right here. And then, gosh, Demon Spawn Dark Elves is a way better matchup. With the Dark Elves, they're so good. Lydia, Mithrawa, even Visix is decent. Blind Seer, Ray, Foley, Zavia, Nukes. Epics, a little underwhelming, but they do have Saris. They do have a couple decent strategic ones. But then as far as the Demon Spawn, they just might be too much of a powerhouse. The Epics are honestly okay as well. Padma, Umbral, Tynix, Magnar, Allure, and they've got the legendaries Duchess. I didn't even say Wither. Duchess, Wither, Kymar, Drexstar, Candy Fawn, Sishia. Yeah, I'm gonna have to guess that Demon Spawn win this one, even though the Dark Elves are very good. I'm gonna give Demon Spawn the advantage there, which means that we end up with Undead versus Demon Spawn, and both are insanely good. That's a tough one. It kind of came down to the two for sure that I think belong there. Siphi, mashallah. I might honestly go Demon Spawn. Demon Spawn don't have the Void Legos, which is rough. If Demon Spawn had a top 5, even top 6 or 7 Void Lego, it would for sure. Ethway is like that 15 to 20th range. There's like maybe 25, 30 Void Legos. Ethway is not in the top 10. It's a little bit rough because you have 2 of the top Void Legos in Siphi and Necrit. With Rotos, mashallah. But Duchess and Kymar might be the top 2. You almost have to look at the epics because the legendaries are kind of a wash. Duchess and Kymar are literally the top 2 non-Void Legos, and then Wither and Canderfon are insane as well. They're all honestly really. There's even other ones that are useful besides that. In terms of epics, Undead, okay, you got that. Demon Spawn, geez, I might have to give it to Demon Spawn. Magnar, Padma, Umbral. Allure, yeah, maybe this will be a hot take because I know people think that Undead are the best. So I'm gonna probably disagree with you, but I'm gonna put Demon Spawn as the winner in my bracket. If I had to kind of go off what I'm seeing right now, I think if I had to guess, some of you are going to disagree and put that you think Undead is the winner, but we may be seeing a shift. Magnar as an epic was a huge addition to the Demon Spawn roster and might be shifting the tide here. So hopefully you enjoyed this fun little look at the bracket going on here for Faction Wars on Reddit, and breaking it down for you and my prediction as to how the final 4 will go. So let me know down below. Do you agree with or do you disagree with any of the matchups and how they went on the bracket? Do you agree with how the final 4 is going to go and all of that? So that'll do it for me on this one. As always, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.